Good day, people. This is JD. Now, today I'm going to talk to you about something. You can check into it if you want, or you don't have to. It's going to be right attached, which is right up. The Articles of Confederation. You all have to understand how important you are to make this government work. But you need to read the Constitution and the Articles of Confederation. Understand that when you read the Articles of Confederation, you say there's really not much difference between that and the Constitution, but there is. Because it really doesn't set up the executive branch as separate, nor does it set up Congress as separate, or the judicial. It kind of mumbles them all together. And they realized they all needed to be separate. It tells how to set up an army. It tells how to set up a nation. It's the guidelines. But still it misses the authority to do the job. You need to understand the fears of our forefathers to understand the Articles of Confederation. And such a step it was to go from the Articles of Confederation to the Constitution. And you'll understand why the Bill of Rights were added to the Constitution. So, basically, I want you all to understand our Constitution and what limited government actually means. Many people don't study the Articles of Confederation. There is the limit, the amount of government our forefathers wanted. Very, very extremely limited. But they realized it couldn't function. Too many problems had occurred. I basically gave you an outline that I posted on my Facebook about the failures of the Articles of Confederation. This is not an outline. This is the Articles of Confederation. Read it. Then compare it to our Constitution. It will give you the ideas of what limited government was meant to be. Our forefathers feared the Constitution. They did. They greatly feared it, for it might become a government like we got today. And we, the people, need to turn that around. You all need to understand the Articles of Confederation and understand that our government, the United States of America, did not begin with the day the Constitution was ratified. It began when the Articles of Confederation was ratified. And there was a lot of trial and error. The actual writing of the Constitution was over 2 years long. But if you take in from the beginning, we're talking 9 years long. Maybe that's why it begins. In order to form a more perfect union, you have to understand what those words mean. But you've got to understand the limits to our government. Our forefathers needed to ensure. And today's Congress does anything but ensures those limits. They find more and more ways to expand their government, to expand their authority over you, the people. But once you understand how important the Articles of Confederation are to the Constitution of the United States, you understand what is meant by limited government. Then you can. Now, yes, I'm running for President of the United States. I'm not going to put us under the Articles of Confederation, don't worry. But we need to limit our government. I hope I've proven that fact to you on my comments about term limits. Not to give that to the federal government, but have each state exercise their term limits. We have to ensure the states maintain their authority. by giving more and more power to the federal government, you're only increasing the power of the federal government, decreasing the power of the people and the states. The Articles of Confederation shows that fear. And once you read the Articles of Confederation and understand it, and then you read the Constitution and understand it, you see that fear, because that's the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights wasn't not written because the Constitution was so great, but because our forefathers feared the Constitution. The Bill of Rights was to ensure that these would limit the government. That you, the people, have the authority to limit the government. And upon that, they have added more laws and taken more power and more power. I will not disagree with them saying Congress setting the term limit of the president. But of the congressmen and senators, no. That should be by the states. But there's much more power that they have taken. And it needs to be reversed. Somehow the senators must understand they work for the states. The state they represent. The congressman from the district represents the people. That is why there's two separate houses. One is to represent the state government as chosen by the people, and the other is to represent individual people. And by combining them, the federal government should end up representing the nation. Not a political party or political ideal. So attached to here is the Articles of Confederation. Read it, please. Compare it to the Constitution. See why the Bill of Rights was so important to be added. Because that shows the fear the Congress at that time had of what this Constitution could do. And you could see it how they're trying to eliminate the right to bear arms. They're trying to take away the Bill of Rights. They're trying to increase their power, their authority over the people. And that's the fear that our forefathers saw in the Constitution. And that's the reason why the Bill of Rights was added. It was not originally part of the Constitution. To get it ratified, they had to take that fear away. So read the Articles of Confederation. Compare it to the Constitution. See how the fear of the control of government and how they wanted a limited federal government. And you'll understand the term limited government. So this is JD. You have a nice day. Check out the Articles of Confederation. Compare it to the Constitution. And I hope you understand what I'm saying here. Have a nice day.